and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and it's time to kit up another PaintGem mini set. So these are the storage containers along with the PaintGem case that I like to use to kit up my minis. So I do have a more than 30 colours PaintGem mini set wheel. It did allow me to pick the free option last time I did this, so I thought rather than pop it back in, I've taken out the mystery 2 kit that I kit up. This time we will be going for whichever random one it picks, and then I might pop it back in for the next batch that I end up kitting up. So anyway, here we go. Let's have a look which one it is going to choose. Ocean. Very nice. I like the ocean set. Somebody in the group had recently done the ocean set. I'm just rummaging through my sets now, trying to find ocean. Okay, so I have the paintings, and now I'm just going to find the diamonds, of which I have many, because of course I have all the different sets. I did try keeping the diamonds in with these, but they just ended up being really bulky. So sorry if you can hear Luna, the door's just gone. So we have the ocean diamonds, and they are labelled, so it's made it a bit easier. I have my sets. Here we go. So these are the ocean ones, and I just cut the piece that wraps around what they come in. I wish I had the space to store all the boxes with everything in them, but I just don't. So these are all the paintings, which we will be able to see because I need to prep my canvases. But what I like to do is stick these, oh, if I don't get the tape stuck on itself, on the inside of my case. So I have the reference as to which each one is. Sometimes when I'm doing them, I'm like, what fish is that? What ocean is that? But it does also tell me on the top then what set it is that I'm working on. So that's done. Then to prep the canvases, they do come pre-cut. Put that in recycling. So they do come pre-cut, and they now have these tiny little numbers on the bottom. But the cutting of them, there is a very, very faint grey line, and on some of them you can see it. So I like to neaten them up before they have any diamonds on them. This one's actually really good, there's hardly any. But I do like to neaten them up before I put diamonds on them, because it's just a lot easier when I'm not fighting with diamonds. So I use my Fiskars guillotine trimmer, pull the first one away, but then for the others, and I am cutting the numbers off as well, for the others I use the top edge as my straight edge. The only downside to doing it before I put diamonds on is the bits of the clear cover that end up getting cut off. Just end up wanting to stick to everything. So I will have bits of plastic floating about probably for a while, but that's okay. It's still better to do it before I stick diamonds on than do it afterwards. So just as long as they're straightened up, you could get particular, or you know, if that's what you prefer, to have them, you know, say all this exactly the same size once you've trimmed them down. Because my display books aren't sort of pages opposite each other, because I only do the one page and then you turn it over to see the other one. I'm not as bothered. If I had them next to each other in any way, either on, you know, 2 pages next to each other or both on the same page, then I would probably want to trim them all down to the same size, just because visually that would look better. I'm wondering whether I want ABs on these or not. I'm actually kind of swaying towards no. I'm trying to have a quick look at each of the ocean creatures as I go along, but they're not shouting at me, or at least I don't feel as though they're shouting these need ABs. So I'm kind of like, is it worth putting ABs in? Though some of them would quite possibly look nice with ABs. I'll have a look at the colours in a minute, because I actually looking at these bubbles now for the turtle. Is it turtle? This is where I'm trying to see what they have called. Yeah, they've called it a sea turtle. I'm looking at the bubbles on this sea turtle and I'm thinking, oh, maybe it would be nice to put some in the water aspect, though there is only like 4 white, the rest are 3, 7, 6, 1, a pale blue, and the water on this shark doesn't have any white in it at all. So I'll have a look at what colours I have ABs in and see whether I want to pop any in. If I have, although the letter P is also a light colour, that is 747. Oh, and maybe, see, this is why I look at them. Maybe some of these coming down off the jellyfish might look nice with ABs. Maybe, but that's a pink thing. Pink, I am very lacking in pinks for ABs. Okay, let's get them cut up and then I'm going to pull out my ABs and have a look before I stick my stickers on, because then I can pop a little mark on the stickers that I have an AB equivalent. And maybe it's one that I only put ABs on a couple of them and not put them on a lot at all, but just the one where it'll really shine. I'm nearly finished. Got this one of 1 more to go. Maybe one of these days, if I find I have a spare minute and it enters my brain, I will actually sit and cut all of these at once, like all the ones I have in my stash, so that I don't have to think about it. Okay, there's none stuck to my trimmer, so let's move that out the way, and then let's get those into my normal bin. Okay, they're in. So let's have a look at these for ABs. So maybe the coral on that one. Maybe I should just try and spread them out a little bit, though there is quite a few. I need those. Okay, let's have a look at my square ABs, of which I have quite a few. Ugh. Okay, so pale yellow, I can already see there is none. Green, there is, it's not that exact number. I do have 906 though, so I do have a green. I have hardly any of those. None of that. There's no real There is a little bit of a purple. Oh, I do have, that's a purple. I do have 3609, which is a pale pink. Those two are really dark pinks. 995 and 996 are pretty bright. I do have 796, which is the same. I have a blue that has no colour. Greys and blacks, I'm not thinking they would work. That's a pale green, that won't. Those are empty. 742 I have. I have, of course, 5200. And there's no real bright red. Okay, so they're the ones, if any, that are going to work. Not necessarily because they're the exact colour. I am happy with sort of a general colour. But I'm not seeing any general colours that are sort of close in shading that I have on there. So white, we have a little bit of white on those fish, but I'm not sure if that's going to work. I might keep the white in because the white might be nice on just these odd ones that have it in the bubbles and the top part of the jellyfish. And if the mood takes me, I may put some on the clownfish or the likes of the seahorse's eye, the eye for the whale, you know, just those little parts. 742, that is actually not in this part of the jellyfish, but it is in the other part, in this part. Actually, that X is a really dark purple. Maybe one of my dark purples would work for that. Did I have a dark purple? I do. See, when it comes to ABs, you can sort of get away with it being close, not necessarily exactly the same, because the AB coating gives it a different look. So 3837. Okay, so that is the purple. So can you see they are different, but actually with the AB coating it gives it a whole different look. So maybe I could use that one, and that would give me the little bits on that coral and the bits in the jellyfish along with those. So the jellyfish would end up with the most sparkle, but then I will have some on the pieces of coral as well. So I think I'm going to do that. Then 796 was actually number 8, which is actually that coral again. Do I put it on the two parts of the coral, or do I just stick to the one? So if I think I could do both of those pieces and then do the regular pink or the two different shades of pink and have a bit of sparkle on both. So I kind of like that idea. And then 906, which is actually the letter J on here. It is in quite a bit of the sort of seaweed stuff that goes behind. I'm going to put it in. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the green, but I'm going to put it in as an option. Just because why not? Because if the mood takes me when I'm actually doing these, then it will get added in. Okay, so that's what I'm going for ABs wise. I think I'm going to more concentrate on the coral and maybe on the eyes, things like that. But I think the jellyfish will really suit it. So let's pop those in there with my ABs on the top. And now let's get to the actual kitting up of the diamonds. So I'm going to pop these on in alphabet order, because that's how I prefer it to be. I do have some dryer sheets if I need them. I'm kind of hoping it's just going to be nice to me, but we shall see. D, E, F, G, H. They do often use all of the letters and numbers, which can be really helpful, because I know it's just a matter of me finding it. It's just where it is, rather than thinking, oh no, it's not there, and then missing it. L, M, N, O. Oh, I didn't put my stars on. P. I didn't put my stars on. Okay, so this is why I didn't put my stickers on first. So 906, what I like to do is pop a little star, and that one's replacing that one, on which one they're replacing, so that I know I have an AB for it before I start. And then white, which I've not done yet. Okay, I managed to get most of them before I got too far. Okay, P, Q, Q, R, S, T. Sorry about that. I had a phone call from hubby, which I knew would be on his way home. Just I'm on my way home. So I was like, oh, I'll ignore that one. But then Megan rang. Okay, S, T, U, V, W. It's one of them. I think I've done it before in a kitting up video. You just can't ignore one of your kids. Not the same way you can hubby. Because I know if it was urgent, he would phone somebody else. Who's in the house, so it was like, yeah, I need to answer that one. And it was whether I want to go on an IKEA trip. It's just, I'm just not used to her phoning before she gets home from work. Anyway, okay, let's try and get this back on track. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we actually don't have a number 9, and then we have 3 that are symbols, and I'm going to put all 3 of them on here because then all my symbols are on one stretch, which I personally find a little bit easier to know that all my symbols are on one strip. So let's have a look at what colours we have. In fact, we have some of those from that strip here. So let's see how much, if any. Yes, we are dealing with static. So I'm going to get out my lovely pieces of dryer sheets and my scissors. In fact, let's use that as the bigger piece. I do have some smaller pieces from last time I kitted up one. Do I have any more floating in there? No. So I like to cut just a small piece to go in the pots, because it really does calm down the diamonds when they're in the pots and you're shaking them up and down, tipping other ones out. It really calms them down. But then I do like to have a bigger piece just to rub on the diamonds / around the diamond in the bag when they're really jumpy. Now, when I was kitting up my last set, the Mystery 2 edition, I did get out one of our no lines trays for kitting up, because when you're kitting up and not dealing with static, they're great for catching any diamonds underneath. But I find when I'm dealing with static, the diamonds like to jump so much more. And because they like to jump so much more, I find that they end up missing the tray anyway. And if they do go on the tray, they don't like coming out the tray because they've gone from plastic to plastic. Albeit superior plastic, but no, they've gone from plastic to plastic, so they just don't agree with it. So I'd rather just pick them up off the desk. So that's why I've not bothered. But all three of these, while they are very static bags, they are next to each other. And I don't think they were on the sticker sheet. But I am going to try and kit these up in strips, because then I can add my piece of dryer sheet to each set, which in turn will mean that when I shake them about in there, they tend to get a lot nicer. I am getting rid of any that decide they're going to jump about and I don't catch them till later, because I have yet to have any problem at all with diamonds missing from a PaintGem mini kit. I have not had it with any of them. I have always had plenty of diamonds left over. So if they're going to be left over anyway, I'm not fighting with the odd ones. I'm just fighting with all the ones in the bags. I don't mind if I spot them. I'm just not dealing with ones I've not spotted. Not dealing with them at a later moment, because who's got time for that? Come on. Okay, 415. Every now and then I keep thinking I'm going to get a bag that is really nice, and then it's not. I thought this one wasn't too bad, but then a load of them are. So let's just tip them all out onto the desk, dampen my finger, and then pop them back in. And actually sort of wetting them with your finger also calms them down enough for me to be able to tell them where I want them to go, which is what I need out of them. Okay, 336. No, we've got it with this one as well. I think this is just going to be part of my process when it comes to kitting up mini kits, is static in most bags. It's a kind of a little treat when I don't have static issues. But it is a trait of resin diamonds. Resin diamonds is something that always has a problem, or often has a problem with static. But they are a much better quality diamond. So it's one of those sacrifices that in effect I'm willing to make, because they're so much nicer. That's not the one I want, it's actually this one. So, try not to chop my finger off. Let's pop 796 in. Again, that's another one I think that I thought wasn't too bad, but then when I actually get to tipping it, they're going everywhere. But the last bag, 3825, wasn't too bad. So you win some, you lose some. So let's say dampen my finger, get them to go back into the pot, and then the piece of dryer sheet that's in there will sort them out otherwise. Okay, 948. Just spotted that one here. And this one isn't bad at all. That one is just like a normal bag of diamonds. Yes, there's a couple that have gone out, but there was no static in that bag. So maybe it's just these ones mainly at the front. So let's hope that it is, because then it gets better as we get on. We can get better as we move on down the bus. Cut myself another strip, because I really only do need a small amount of a dryer sheet. And then I want 798. Let's just put that in there. I'm just using the same piece I've used for all the others. When there's less diamonds in the bag, you normally find, if you don't knock your bag crooked like I just did, that they get rid of the static a lot quicker. That one's actually got a bit, but there's not many diamonds in the bag. So not as many to fall out. Okay, now I want 890. This is where I'm sort of trying to find. I've seen it. There it is, 890. Only a few of those as well, so there is quite a few. There is just not many of. But as soon as I opened that bag, all the diamonds fell to the bottom. So there is no static in that one. 742, which is an orangey. Not much in this one. There is a little bit, but most of the diamonds fell down. So when you open the bag, because that's what I found is hard to tell. When the bag's sealed, before you've opened the bag, it is hard to tell whether you're going to have a static issue or not. It tends to become apparent as soon as you open up the bag, and I'll show you what I mean on the next few bags until we get to the point that we have one of each type. Until we have a good one and a bad one. Okay, 3607 is this one I want. So they may all look like they're scattered about, but when you open the bag, see that, I can see them jumping. They're still scattered. So this one does have a static problem. So we'll pop that around. And then, after I've done that, they all now sit down. That's what I actually want them to do. In the first instance, would be nice. Would be nice if they did, but they don't. Okay, 603. So again, they're all spread out. Once I put air in, most of them sink down to the bottom, but there is a few that are jumpy. So we do have static with this one. So let's just give that a quick rub down to get rid of most of the static, though there may be a few stragglers. Okay, now we also need 5200. This is the other end, so let's see what this one's like. So I'm opening, they all look to be spread out, but as soon as I open the bag, no, they're all still spread out, very much jumping. So no, 5200 is still static heaven. So again, I'm just doing the same, rubbing over. And that's calmed most of them down. And then the last few stragglers. There's two in the bag, but I'm not doing it. 3837. And again, they're still jumpy. I don't think I'm going to have any more now that aren't going to give me static problems. Maybe I had my two before. So let's get those popped in. And this is the colour that I've replaced with an AB that's not exactly the same, but it's close. So I've got my little stars. Okay, 816. So that is in this row. Pop my little pieces of dryer sheet in first. Just a little bit in each. And then 816 is that one. And I'm going to get rid of that diamond because I'm not sure if it's one of these or one of the other reds, because it had fallen out before I'd even opened the bag. They stuck to my thumb that wasn't touching the dryer sheet. get most of those in. Got a couple stuck in the top corners. Okay, 3, 2, 1. No, we got static in this one. I think I'm going to cut myself. Let's try that and just wrap it around my whole finger, though that doesn't work. I go to use my thumb more than I go to use my finger. Should have wrapped it around my thumb. And I didn't wrap it round properly, so I've got them all over my thumb. Let's pick those up. Quite a lot of red in this ocean set. It's quite a nice full little one. 3, 4, 9. Oh, see, when I opened them, they did go down. There is a couple that are jumping and sticking to the side, but they did sink straight to the bottom of the bag. And that's what you actually want to see, is you want to see the diamonds sink to the bottom. 307. So there again at the side, when I open the bag, most of them sink lower. There is a couple that aren't doing, but let's see if it is. Yeah, it's just those two. Two little static diamonds. Okay, what's next? 3, 5, 1. So I'm still popping dryer sheets in all of them, even though some of them aren't really giving me any trouble, but it definitely doesn't do any harm to have one in anyway. That one's sunk straight to the bottom, which means any diamonds that go all over the place are purely user error, which is me, whereas those are jumping around the bag. So these have static, but because there is so few in this bag, these will actually behave a lot better because most of them can touch the dryer sheet because they're not fighting for the space. Okay, 699. Little bit of static on that one, not a drastic amount. So we'll just tip those ones in as normal. Just noticed I have one of those stuck to my finger. Then I want 747, which is here. Open that one up. Yes, we have static. They're trying to behave like jumping beans. So let's put those in. Next row. And this box of dryer sheets was sent to me by a subscriber and has been going for so long. They do smell beautiful as well, but primarily because I only need a little bit in each box. This one, little bit of static, but again not too drastic at all. 906, little bit in this one, but not enough to take that extra time to put the, to pop your finger into the bag and take that extra step. That one I thought was going to have static and they dropped straight to the bottom, so they're a really good lot. Lime green for the win. 740. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Exactly what I wanted. This is what I prefer. Getting near the end, they start getting better. I've got a couple of pots in here that really like to pop open. So the little bit on the end there, just use my teeth to pull it out a little bit to hopefully get a little bit of a better grip. These are a slight Of course, it's done it on the second one. But these are a little bit of a tighter fit than they should be if this box was made for them. But this box isn't made for these smaller containers. The ones that came in it were bigger, but it would only allow me to kit up a painting with 28 colours. And of course, a lot of these PaintGem mini sets now have over 30. So somebody in the group showed how they'd switch them out. So I've taken these all out of containers that are smaller and pinch them and pop them in here. And it works perfect for the purposes of these. And it gives me that second layer, that double-decker layer, to pop my paintings in, which is what makes this storage ideal for the mini sets, because you can keep your paintings with them. You can in the bottle cases, in the bigger cases, but they just take up so much more room. So I like my bottle PaintGem mini case for any of my paintings for under 30. Okay, that was a mixture of static and me hitting the bag wrong. Yeah, for any that have got under 30 colours, I love my little PaintGem mini case because it's just as small as this. But anything over 30 colours, I like to put in these so I can keep everything together. The only one I have in a bigger case is actually one that I need to dekit soon. It was one that my daughter took to uni with her, but I won't be re-kitting up another PaintGem mini in it. It's a 60 bottle case. It's just going into my stash. It's going in there in the mix for my big paintings. Right, last one. And that's sticking to my scissors because I've been cutting tape with my scissors. There we go. So what do I want now? Let's just do them in order. Oh, Static Heaven already jumping about. Can you see them all floating up the top? I'm going to put that strip back in there for another day. But just try and get this dryer sheet touching as many diamonds as possible, though it's stuck to my hand more than it's not. Get those in and pick up my remnants. Nearly there. We're on the home stretch. And let's see how many we end up with static with. Hopefully not many. Come on, behave yourself now. Behave yourself. Oh, see if they did after a bit. Right, 3760. No, we've got static again. Okay, we're going to have the last bag. Take your vote. Will it have static issues or not? Going on the odds of the other bags, yes it will. Because I think we've had more with static than without. But will it be nice? Are you going to be nice? It's been nice. They all dropped straight to the bottom. And that mess then, that was purely me. That's what I normally have a tray underneath for. There we go, we're in. We're in, we're done. Let's get rid of those. They're popping, but they can pop because they're empty. So I have my diamonds, I have my paintings, I have my ABs, I have my reference sheets, all in one handy dandy little box. As tall as A5, but not as wide as A5. So nice size to be able to keep everything all ready and contained. And I now have another set of PaintGem minis to be able to do. because I've been loving doing a PaintGem mini a day. And yeah, that's another one kitted up. So thank you all so much for joining me for this kit up. And yeah, stay tuned. I do need to kit up my 30 bottle case as well, so I'll be getting that done soon. But thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.